Welcome to Your Daily Bread with Bishop Eric Kincaid Clark, where he is inspiring us to maximize our potential.
Grace and peace be unto you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm Bishop Eric Kincaid Clark. This is Your Daily Bread. Welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Jesus is Lord, and I will exalt him on this Wednesday morning. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. It is Wednesday, and I pray you're good. I'm good. I pray that you are good. Lot going on. Whole lot going on, lot on my mind. But we've been on a good track here talking through Slavery is Over, message I preached Sunday. It's talking about how you come through it and it's over. Certainly move on and be great. And what does that mean? What does slavery look like today? How do you move on today? I want to continue that conversation. I am a firm believer that if you forget your past, you're destined to repeat it. I'm a firm believer in that. I do believe you need to look back and see what's going on, see where you come from. I believe that the next generation needs to know the story, the real story, but they need to hear a bigger story, the whole story. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But before I do all of that, you got the power. That's really where I'm headed to today. How to get the power, how to manage the power, what to do with the power. What would you do if you had the power, whatever that power is for you? What would you do? If I had the power, I think I might trip y'all out today. What I'm going to say, I might trip y'all out today. We'll see. Anyway, did anybody hear? Good morning, good morning. They're on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, mother. Good morning. Everyone's on. I see you. I see you. My regulars are in their place. Very good. Did anybody see the State of the Union address last night? President Joe Biden. He is a pastor. President Biden is the closest thing to a pastor we've ever seen. He loves the people. And I say pastor, I'm not talking about his spirituality, and he is a spiritual man. And he testifies very, very often of his faith. But he just loves the people. He is a president for the people. Now you got backroom deals, you got underhanded stuff. Who knows what hands he has shaken and what deals he has made as anybody else that's got that much power. But I tell you one thing, he showed talking right. Did anybody hear him last night? Anybody hear? Did y'all hear the State of the Union? Anybody? Mama, you heard that? He showed talking right. He said, I created 12 million jobs in 2 years, which is more than any president in the history of this country has done in 4 years. I said, go ahead, Mr. President. He started talking about, he talked about the issues of police brutality. He talked about medicine, pharmaceutical companies, charging all this money for the medicine. He talked about making them billionaires. He said the billion-dollar companies have made another $300 or $400 billion through the pandemic and paid zero taxes. Zero. He said, we're not going to let that continue. And he said, they're going to pay their fair share. He said, they need to pay as much tax as the police, as the firemen, as the teacher. He said the teachers need a raise. I mean, the man was talking good. He was clicking and hitting on all cylinders. When he started hitting that immigration piece, I said, you better get off of that now, because that's his weak point. He ain't do too good with immigration. Ain't nobody did good with immigration. President Trump talking about we're gonna build a wall. They started building the wall, spent all that money, and it's the worst. And we are in was in a worse situation than we've ever been in before. But he well, at least he didn't skirt the issue. He talked about the whole ideal of immigration, and he did a good job at 80 years old. He did a good job. And they say he's been working on his speech because he does stutter a little bit and he's getting up in age. But Kamala, she earned her money last night because she was clapping and standing and clapping like, yes, you my president, you my president, you my president. Go ahead, cheerleader Carmella. No, she did a good job. Everybody did a good job. And it was great the way he, had Tyree Nichols' family there. He had another gentleman that had saved so many lives there, as they always do when they have these speeches. They touch on those sensitive parts in the country, bring people out, and he did a great job with that. He honored so many of the cabinet members that had served for many years, Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer, I think his name is. But he honored. It was good. I enjoyed it. Then I clicked over and checked out LeBron James from Cleveland. I like to say Cleveland, no, Akron, Canton, but he is our homegrown native, has become the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA. I checked out Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the whole game. He was looking a little salty, but then at the end, he was happy. He was glad for him. He passed the baton. He passed the torch. It was powerful. I thought the NBA, man, they stopped the whole game. They stopped the game and had a great celebration and then went back to it, and the Lakers lost because they weak. Their team is weak, man, I'm telling you. And I watched the Oklahoma Thunder. I had never heard of some of these players, but they were good. I'm like, LA, y'all need to stop trying to get these big name players. Go get some guys nobody know, but they can shoot the lights out. Because y'all got ran off the court. Y'all got ran off the court. But it was a big event, and LeBron did his thing. I was very proud, very proud, very proud. And incredible accomplishment. It adds, I don't know if any of y'all, hey, John, I see you, John. Hey, John. But I got mostly ladies. Khalil is on. Ben is on. I don't have too many brothers be joining me in the morning. Few brothers. Minister Andre's on. Couple brothers. And I say the brothers because I don't know if y'all sisters get into the conversation of who the GOAT is, the greatest of all times. And there's a big controversy between Michael Jordan and LeBron James and others, a couple others. Kobe is in the race, and even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in the race when you talk about history, and Wilt Chamberlain and others. But there's a real heated debate about LeBron or Michael Jordan. And certainly with this accomplishment, Michael Jordan puts a little bit more. He puts a little bit more on his scale. There's a little bit more. Now, Michael Jordan, you got more championships. Yes, you do. Michael Jordan was the greatest individual competitor. Yes, he was. Michael Jordan, I would say, has an edge in LeBron James as a two-way player. I think Michael Jordan was a better defender, even though LeBron, especially in his prime, he could hold his own. But I think Jordan has the edge. But assist, LeBron has the edge. In rebounds, LeBron has the edge. And now, in the most important factor of the game, scoring. LeBron has scored more points than anybody ever in the history of the NBA. And he ain't finished yet. Now, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record has stood for 38, almost 39 years. And they're saying, if LeBron play another 2 or 3 years, they don't know if that record will ever be broke, because the phenomenon of scoring so many points has to do with sustaining a high level of play for a long time. And you have a lot of great players, but they play good for 7 years, 9 years, 13 years. You'll even see them play good like Chris Paul for 17 years. But those guys' seasons are, they have injuries and they're out for a whole season. They got a knee and they got a ankle. And the thing about LeBron, he's had little minor hiccups, but he ain't had no season-ending kind of things where he misses a whole season and all that kind of stuff. He has, for the most part, played 20 years without a major injury and has sustained a great scoring average for 20 years, y'all, and going. So hats off. Hats off to LeBron James. Hats off to Joe Biden. I'm giving out kudos today. Joe Biden, our president Joe Biden, my man. LeBron James, been entertaining us for 20 years, my man. And they ought to pay him everything. And LeBron James is smart, and he might feed into the last part of our conversation because he has parlayed his celebrity. He has parlayed his championship, his star power. He is turning it into dollars. And then his high school friends that was right around him, he done made everybody millionaires. Them guys can't shoot no basketball, but he has made them all multi-millionaires. You got a sports agent, you got a movie producer, and LeBron James is the thinking behind all of that. Maybe not all the thinking, but he certainly is the money behind all that. And he has transformed his millions into over $1 billion, and it will be billions plural. Man, this guy has got a lifetime contract, like for the rest of your life with Nike. For the rest of your life. So, LeBron, hey, Kyrie Irving, you should have been hanging out with LeBron, dude. You shouldn't have left Cleveland and messed that up. That's the first thing. You could have got another championship in Cleveland. And then you get talking to LeBron, you wouldn't have lost all his money. You done lost a lot of money running off at your mouth. Sometimes you speak in truth, but sometimes, everything is, you got the liberty to say everything, but it's not expedient. All things are lawful, but they're not expedient. You can say and do anything you want to do, but it's not always in your best interest. Now, let's say you're worth $100 million. Hey, Siri, how much is Kyrie Irving's net worth?
Kyrie Irving's net worth was $90 million in 2020.
Okay, 2020, 2 years ago, Siri is saying that he was worth about 90 million. If they would report 90 million publicly, it's much more. Okay, let's say he was worth 150 million 2 years ago. But dude, you just walked away from about $200 million, 200 more, with your antics last season. He walked away from about 200 million, and the team that he's playing for didn't sign him. The team he's playing for didn't sign him, and he had to go and get another. He's off that team now. He's with another team. He's going to get money, but you're just leaving so much money on the table because of that. Now, money is not everything, and I guess some would say, how much is enough? 150 million is not enough. Well, when you get into that league. When you get into the league, first you pierce that $1 million ceiling, right? And you start understanding, I ain't broke. I got a couple of dollars. I can do a couple of things. But then you get exposed to stuff, and you understand that you need to generate this kind of money every year to continue this lifestyle. Then you get shoe deals and contracts, and you making movies, Uncle Drew, and all that, right? Next thing you know, you're into the tens of millions and 50 million. And 100 million, man, you got 100 million. But I promise you, once you have it for a while, it becomes commonplace. And if you got any drive in you, you're reaching for more. You're reaching for more. And I know he'll say money ain't everything. Okay. And you can take care of your family if you got kids, or if you don't have kids or wife, or even if you do have, like, if you got a passion for education. Kyrie Irving gives a lot of money. He's a philanthropist and he gives. But think, out of your 150 million, you gave 10% of that, 15 million away. It's wonderful. But that 150 could have been 350. You could have gave 35 million away. You could have a greater impact. Well, I don't know how y'all feel about that. But I done went down the rabbit trail, right? Kyrie should have hung out with LeBron. But LeBron's doing his thing. Who do I think is better, greater player? Michael Jordan. I think Michael's better. Was better. Um, that's what I think. I watched him play, and I watched LeBron. LeBron is getting better. And what's so crazy is when he first came into the league, he couldn't shoot, not like he's shooting now, like he's making 3-point shots and stuff. But he has, like Michael Jordan, early in Jordan's career, he was dunking. Hey, John, we talking now. The brothers, Elvis, we talking through it. But Michael Jordan, he was dunking on everybody. But as he got older, he couldn't jump, not like he used to. So he had to learn he perfected the jump shot. And we're seeing LeBron James do the same thing. And I heard one writer, I read one article, put it like this. If you have a light that shines at 100 luminous, and it shines at 100 luminous for 16 years, 17 years, it's the brightest light. But then you got this other light come along, it shines at 98 luminous, but it shines for 20 years. This one shines a little brighter, but shorter, 16 years. This one shines a little, not as bright, but much longer. So which one is greater? I think that's a legitimate argument. I don't know. But when it comes to flat out championships, Michael Jordan hands down got championships 2 times. He 3-peated. He won the championship 3 times in a row, twice. That's pretty major. Like, he was the most dominant player. Like, when he played, dude, you might as well get in front of the TV. And when they needed to win, he won. He won the game. He take the game in his hand, and he won the game. Now, LeBron James has done that, but not nearly as many times as Michael Jordan. If I got a team, dream team, who do I want to have the ball? 2 seconds left, 5 seconds left, and we need a bucket. Michael Jordan. I would rather have Michael Jordan have the ball than any other player I can think of. Ladies, are y'all basketball fans? Y'all not into this conversation? Okay, let me move on. But anyway, LeBron James did his thing last night. And I was proud of him. Joe Biden did his thing. Okay, this weekend, the big Super Bowl. This is, I guess, it's a sports show today. ESPN today. The Super Bowl. Okay, we got the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. Fly like an eagle, right? Philly has had a strong team all year long. And I'm sort of leaning towards Philly. But Kansas City has got the superstar quarterback. What's the guy's name? Young guy, $500 million contract. That's right, you heard it. 500 Mahomey, $500 million contract. And he worth every penny. Why? Because he pack out the stadium and he is must-see TV. So he generates the money that they paying him. Oh, man, they could double his salary. That's like LeBron. They could double LeBron's salary. They tell me that they were selling seats at the Lakers Stadium. I forget what it's called. But they were selling at Staples Center. Is it Staples or did they change it? Meta? Is it Meta? I forget what they call it. But they were selling seats for $70,000. And if you watch the game, you see who was sitting on the floor. Shannon Sharp, LL Cool J, Jay-Z, like major megastars, rich folk. $70,000 for a floor seat. I don't know if it was the floor seats, but there were seats. I don't know where those seats were. I should ask Siri. I ain't got time. I'm going to take up all my time. But they were selling, like LeBron made the Lakers franchise. He made them so much money last night. than like TV time. You know how much money they was making with commercials and everything, because it was highly watched, and man, it was crazy. It's crazy. They had to make. I wouldn't be surprised if they made his salary. If they pay LeBron $45 million a year, they made that last night. One game, they made that last night. His T-shirt sales and jersey sales last night paid his whole salary. The TV time commercials and all that, because now they making money on streaming. They making money on every platform it is. They making money. Dude, he paid his whole salary last night. He probably paid the whole team's salary last night. He probably made $200 million last night. He paid everybody, even Russell Westbrook, who can't shoot. I was surprised he was making those 3-point shots. That boy can't shoot. He had his day, and he was good for what he was, but his day has come and gone. And LeBron, y'all need to clear the roster. It's only about two players, and Anthony Davis ain't one of them. It's only about 2 players that they need to keep, and then go get some new players and let them some young guys that nobody know. Put them around LeBron. And let those kids play with the rest of the kids, because LeBron is 38, coming up on 39. He about to be 40 years old out there playing with them kids. That's like me and my kids. My kids, I can play, but I can't keep up with them kids. Okay, is that enough? Okay, who gonna win the Super Bowl? Michael Jordan, most spectacular player. Somebody says. Andre says. Who gonna win the Super Bowl? Are y'all in this conversation? Y'all ready for me to get spiritual on y'all? Okay. Who gonna win the Super Bowl? Any Philly fans? Pastor Kevin Simmons from Philly. Karen, I know Karen Hurd. She normally is on, and she's from Philly. She just got back traveling to Philly. Is Philly gonna win it? A lot of famous people from Philly. Bill Cosby, Queen Latifah, Patti LaBelle. So, Philly's got his own, alumni. I always people say I'm from Philly. Nonetheless, I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. I want the Eagles to win. Khalil. Okay. Elaine. She like, boo, Kansas City. Do you want me to put that in? I don't know. Okay, Philadelphia, Kansas City. Who gonna win? Now, y'all know betting. Betting is such a big thing. I'm not into that. All that stuff is addictive. I know that stuff is addictive. I don't play with that stuff. Now sports betting is like the biggest thing. You can't have a commercial. Can you imagine betting and gambling? All it was illegal. Now every other commercial is bet. Make sure you bet and get your bets in and get it on your phone and bet. Make sure you bet. That is a doggone shame. That's a doggone shame. Sports betting is the biggest thing now. Like, they make more money betting. And check this out. I never have gotten into the fantasy league, like my fantasy football league, it's baseball, hockey, they got fantasy, everything. And when I tell you they make billions, hundreds of billions, if not more, on these fantasy teams, like, they just take the stats. I remember the big legal suit years ago, about 15, 20 years ago, they was having a big lawsuit about who owns the stats. Because the sports betting, they was making so much money on these fantasy leagues that the real league, the NFL, the baseball league, the basketball, they're like, well, we want some of this. How y'all gonna make $200 million off of our stats? And they had to go to court about who owns the stats. Who has rights to the stats? That is amazing. But it's the world that we live in, y'all. We are living. It's a new world. It's a new world, man. It's a new world. Sports world, betting, gambling, all that. Super Bowl. Rihanna is going to do the halftime show at Super. They called me, and I said, no, I got to preach. I got to preach this Sunday. They called me, but that's okay. I passed. I said, call Rihanna here. Here's her number. I got her number. They called Rihanna. Rihanna said, yes. You make a lot of money on Super Bowl. You know, I read an article coming up on this. I'm just everywhere today. Y'all pray for me. But I read an article that talked about Janet Jackson. No, it wasn't an article. It was in a book. And it talked about, it was in my womanist theology class. I mean, there's some heavy stuff here. I mean, it's some real heavy stuff, right? You know, the book challenged me to see God through a woman's eyes. Like, women have been mistreated and misused forever since the beginning of time. And even to this day, women are overlooked and undervalued and so on and so forth. And the book asked me, can I see God as a woman? What? I'm like, no, but God created man in his image after his likeness. And part of what he created, who he created, was woman. Woman comes out of the man. And so, you know, this woman was saying, I see God as a woman. I'm like, wow. Now, you know, God is not a man. The Bible says he's not a man that he should lie. So it's not so much gender. Is God gender neutral? Is he not man? Is he not woman? Is he fire? Is he love? Is he spirit? Is he, man, I'm telling you, get into some of this theological stuff. It's some heavy stuff, right? But it's interesting. I forgot where I was going with that, but Rihanna, anyway, Rihanna, she doing the Super Bowl. Oh, I came across this article. It talked about where Janet Jackson, she showed her breast, right? Wardrobe malfunction. And they showed how much and how many millions of dollars she lost behind that. She had some advertisers, they dropped her. She had some contracts about this, that, and the other. And even some people in the industry, they blackballed her, and she lost $200 million behind showing her breasts. Like, that girl lost a ton of money. And she probably worth $200 million now. Hey, Siri, what is Janet Jackson's net worth?
Janet Jackson's net worth was $225 million in 2022.
The girl is worth over $225 million. But they said when she had that wardrobe malfunction, she walked away from $250 million. And the article was going on and saying that, and immediately following, here comes Beyonce, here comes even this year with the girl, Rihanna, and a couple other women have performed. They said, what if women had stood together and say, wait a minute, no, you're not going to treat these women this way. If the women had said, no, none of us performing until y'all make it, y'all make Janet whole. I mean, it's just an interesting article. Anyway, I'll be watching the Super Bowl. I'll be there, and I can't wait to bless you all this weekend with the Word of God, but I'm looking forward to seeing the Super Bowl this Sunday. All right, let's see if we can take the last few moments here. We didn't just talk through. You know, sometimes, y'all, we need to have just a visit. It don't need to be preaching every day. Just let's have a visit. Today has been a visit. What I wanted to get to was the whole ideal of power. You know, you got the power. What is power? Power is the number of people that you can influence. Power is money. Power can be an idea. Power is knowledge. Knowledge is power. So how do you get more power? You get more knowledge. How do you get more power? You get more money. How do you get more power? You get more influence. You can influence more people. If the church that I pastor was 5,000 strong, I'd have more power in Cleveland and in Warrensville to do some things. When I wanted to get some things done, they would acquiesce to my desires because you got the power. Or if I had $1 billion, and I want to do some things, they would be like, yes, sir, because they know I'd be paying because I have the power. Then if you have knowledge, if you got some wisdom and insight, if you have knowledge, if you know what to do, children of Issachar had understanding of the times. They knew what Israel ought to do. They had power. Intelligence, knowledge, data is power. So increasing your power, what does that mean to you? Increasing your influence, increasing your money, increasing your knowledge. What does getting power, having power mean to you? And those who usurp your authority, those who have the power over you, what is it that they have that you don't? Influence, knowledge, money. What is that they have that you can't flip and turn around? Now, all of a sudden, if you got the power, this is where I really wanted to get to today. It's amazing. I can preach my lesson in 3 minutes. I really can. I just like to talk through it sometimes. But if you had the power, what would you do with it? Okay, if you had the power, if you had the influence. If I had 5 million followers, like right now we have 40 people on, 40, before the day we'll have 100 views or whatever. But what if that was 5 million? If I had that kind of power, what would I do with it? If I had to go up into the billion. If I had $1 billion, what would I do with that power? That's power for me. What would I do with it? And if I had the not only the influence of people, the influence of money, but if I had the influence of knowledge, if I had, I was talking to Dr. Myers, the head professor of Ashland Theological Seminary. He has, I think, 9 master's degrees, but he has, 6 masters and 2 PhDs. And he got that stuff 40 years ago. And so he has been at the head of his field for 40 years, still assimilating knowledge and whatnot. And if you talk to him, he is a scholar. It make your brain hurt when you talk to this man, because he is an encyclopedia. He knows stuff that you would say, why do you know that? But if I had, and he was telling me about, I wrote the gentleman's name down. He was a black scholar, and I think it was Einstein who mastered 4 disciplines. He was at the top of his field in 4 disciplines. And they say that Albert Einstein was one of the smartest men that ever lived. But this African scholar had mastered 12 disciplines, and they didn't believe it. And so they brought the top people in each one of these disciplines to challenge his knowledge, and found him to be even better than they thought. He was found to be more knowledgeable in their field than each of these experts in their field in 12 different disciplines. But you don't hear anything about him. I had to write his name down because I can't even remember. And with his knowledge. So if all of a sudden I'm empowered with influence, I got 5 million, 17 million followers, right? I got $1 billion and I got some knowledge. What do you do with it? What do you do with this knowledge? What do you do with it? What would you do with that kind of power? What would you do with it? Seriously, what would you do? I'm past my time. I'm 3 minutes past my time. But do y'all got 3 minutes for this? What would you do with all that power? What would I do with all that power? Let me give you all the spiritual answers first. I would honor God. I would never stop serving him. I would tithe. I would give. I would be a giver. I would certainly give to a lot of causes. And one of the greatest causes I would give to is education. I'm telling you, I would give to the cause of education. I do believe that education, besides giving people Christ, education is the greatest thing that you can give people. Y'all encourage your kids, encourage your grandkids to get an education. Education creates opportunity. So I had $1 billion, I would give a lot of money in scholarships to worthy kids. Now, I'm not just going to give poor people money because they're poor. I'm going to give people money. Now, I will help indigent situations, absolutely. But the lion's share of the money that I would give would be kids that are getting straight A's. I want to give you a lot of money, right? You coming through junior high school and you getting A's, I want to give you incentive. Come through high school and you getting A's, I want to make sure you get a scholarship. Then you go off to college in your first year, you keep your GPA grade point. I want to keep giving you money. It's going to keep on increasing your last year. And if you decide to go on to grad school after your bachelor's degree, we're going to give you more money. If you decide to go into education, I am going to keep giving you money as long as you keep getting educated. And stay in the midst of some counselors and wise people who can help you use your knowledge to improve your own life, but to improve the lives of others as well. That's what I would do. One of the big things I would do. What would you do? Because I'm talking, I got the mic right now. So, what would you do? Let me continue my thinking in ministry. Y'all listen to me because you're going to hear something in my heart. I would give myself to online ministry. I would build a studio. What else would you do, Bishop? I would build a studio. I wouldn't be sitting here in my living room. I would be in a full-blown CNN. I would have people go to CNN and duplicate the studio of CNN. I need them lights. I need that big video screen. I need a couple of sets. I need microphones. I need the best of the best. I need cameras. I need all that. And I need a control room. I need a setup like that. Put satellite dishes and all the other modern technology on top of this building so I can stream my signal out all over the world. And I'd hire a team, a monster team of marketers and advertisers, and show me that when I hit the button on that says you on, dude, I have an audience of a lot of people all over the world. And I'm going to be preaching and teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have, it would be so much of a variety show. It'd be some church preaching and teaching. It'd be some conversation. I'd be conversing with, I'd see if I can get LeBron James on. If I couldn't get LeBron on, I'd invite his kids onto my show. If I can't get his kids, I'd invite his wife. If I can't get his wife, I'd invite his managers. I'd invite somebody from his camp has got to hang out with me and talk to me about this 20-year journey, A, B, C, D, F, G, right? I'd get one of the executives of Nike on to talk to me about the different athletes that I would constantly just be expanding. And what I would present would be a combination between CNN, Oprah Winfrey show, Steve Harvey show, and Bishop Eric Kincaid Clark. In other words, it'd be a variety of all these things, but it would be to uplift. Hey, I'd have my own version of BET. But it would be, Christian oriented, and I'd be in front of the camera. That's what I do. And then I'd go golfing and get a massage and go by Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, that's it. But if you had the power, what would you do with it? I'd have some conferences through the years. I would try to inspire people to maximize their potential. Like all the stuff I'm doing, I just would do it on steroids, man. Preachers, I'd love to do some leadership training with preachers, pastors and leaders. I'd do some training and put it on video like I'm doing for family, for marriage, for finances, for faith, for your health, for whatever. I would do everything I can do to inspire people. And then I would live. I promise you I would live. I would have been at the game last night. I would have paid $70,000 to have a floor seat. Y'all would have been like, there's Bishop. Hey, Bishop. I'd have been like, Jesus. Giving God the glory, right? But yeah, I'd probably be at the Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, I'd be flying. I'd be at the All-Star game in a couple weeks up in Utah. I'd be at the Super Bowl. Yep. I'd have a Loge, me and my people. Yeah. What would you do with all that power? How would you use the power? Well, I'm out of time today. I was going to talk to you about a couple of things. Let me give you the tip of the day. Tip of the day, get your credit together. Work on your credit, people. Work on your credit. The tip of the day. Work on your credit. Empower yourself. Thank God, thank God, thank God. All right. Thank you all for your time today. Work on your credit today. That's my tip. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I want everyone to navigate. It is Wednesday. Did you sow the midweek sacrifice? Tonight we have a powerful word for you. 7 p.m. Y'all meet me tonight. Let's hear the word of the Lord. All right. I love you. Navigate and sow. Give your support. Pay your tithe. Give your special offering. Sow the midweek sacrifice of $20. Would you do that right now? In Jesus' name. I love you, love you, love you. And I will see you at 7 p.m. Until then, peace to the family.
Thank you for tuning in to The Daily Bread with Bishop Eric Kincaid Clark. Remember to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and share this word with your family and friends.